my duty.
After the Cardinals rolled over the Titans yesterday, rolled over them. 5 total touchdowns from Kyler, 4 via the air, 1 on the ground. Cardinals offense just marching up and down the field. Mike, was Sunday more about Kyler's 5 touchdown day or the Titans getting just dominated?
You know, just like we gave Jameis Winston credit for throwing 5 touchdowns, we got to give Kyler Murray his credit for throwing 4 and running for 1. You know, he put the team on his back and he took them to where they needed to go. But at the end of the day, it's about Chandler Jones getting 5 sacks. The defense played tremendously, and if Kyler's going to continue to get opportunities, the defense is going to have to continue to play the way they played. And if they continue to get better, they'll be at the top of the NFC West when it's all said and done.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Mike, look, that's a huge statement. We know how tough that division is, but I'm with you. This is about Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. You mentioned how great the defense. Incredible. And DeAndre Hopkins, some of those plays he made, we got to give him major league credit as well. Right? But the pass to Christian Kirk, and I think it was Kirk in the end zone, where he just, the timing on that couldn't have been any better. If Kyler, we might have to rethink the West. The NFC West, because all 4 of those teams look very good. San Francisco let up a little bit against Detroit, but all 4 of those teams look great this weekend, and man, they're going to beat up each other.
So on the Cardinals, you're absolutely right, Broussard. All 4 NFC West teams blew their opponent out. I understand San Francisco, Detroit ended close. San Francisco was up 24 with 2 minutes left in that game. They blew them out. Seattle was in total control the entire game against Indy. We just talked about the Rams dominating the Bears, and then there's this game. So I want to give Wilds credit on a Kyler point. He had been higher on Kyler than me because he said, Nick, the guy got hurt at the end of last year. That's when it went to hell for him. That's sure what it looked like yesterday. Looked like, wow, a healthy Kyler Murray with Nuke Hopkins is going to be a handful. But I actually think, Mike, this game might have been more about Tennessee. Tennessee's been knocking on the door of could they be the AFC favorite, right? Then this offseason, they spend some money on the defense. They bring in Julio Jones. The defense is as bad as ever, at least looked as bad as ever. Taylor Lewan, who's supposed to be an excellent left tackle, I know he took ownership of it, but he gets just beat up by Chandler Jones. They never get to send him help, but you can't double team him. You don't want to double team him at 3 sacks or whatever, 4 sacks. I guess they started at 5 sacks. And maybe most concerning, Mike, Derrick Henry didn't look, I don't want to say he didn't look right. He just never got going, and he is the engine that makes that offense go. The Titans are supposed to be the overwhelming favorite in the AFC South, and they got just other than Atlanta, I'm not sure there was any team that looked worse than them this week. So for me, Mike, the Titans fans have to be at least moderately concerned this morning.
Absolutely, and I was concerned that the Arizona Cardinals defense was going to get ran through, but Derrick Henry only had 58 yards rushing. That's what, 13, 14 yards a quarter. So if they can't run the ball effectively, Brian Tannehill is not going to be Tannehill. He's not going to be himself. He's not going to look like he did in the past, and their offense won't look the same. So they got to find a way to fix that if they're going to compete in that division.
That's right.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Talk some Green Bay Packers. It was a tumultuous offseason for Aaron Rodgers, but can you pin yesterday's performance on that? We'll have that for you next. Mike Vick, as always, thank you, buddy. Have a great Monday.
Thank you. Same to you guys.
Great stuff.
Kids call them. No, they don't. We'll take that outing any day. We got Mike Vick here to break down all the action from yesterday. Broussard, you're so easy to please. Mike, how much did Jameis's performance surprise you?
Honestly, Jenna, it didn't surprise me at all. I had a chance to talk to Jameis about 4 months ago, and we had an in-depth conversation about, just the game itself, what football really meant to him. And, Jameis just kept saying, we're going to surprise some people this year. We're going to surprise some people, and they're not going to see what's coming. And he spoke with so much confidence and enthusiasm. And Jameis is a guy who really loves the game. You know, at the quarterback position, you got to have a passion for it, and he really does. And yesterday wasn't a surprise to me. When you gel with a offensive coordinator, you know, when you gel with your quarterback coach, a guy like Sean Payton, and you get that information download, and it's starting to register, and you know that you with a coordinator who's going to present the game plan that's going to be for you. You know, you can come out and you can play with the utmost confidence, and I think that's what Jameis talked about. I think that's what he illustrated, and, you know, I just couldn't take anything away from the conversation but the fact that he was going to go have success, and it was very evident yesterday. Obviously, you got to continue to do that. You know, it's week one, and it's just a stepping stone, a step in the right direction. But, you know, we want to monitor this week 2, week 3, week 4, and Jameis knows how important it is to be consistent in the National Football League. So that's what I have my eye on. Is it going to be consistent?
Well, and I want to give the Saints credit. Listen, I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl and the Saints to miss the playoffs. And they played each other week 1, and the Saints beat them in every single phase of the game. Jameis was a part of that, so they absolutely deserve credit. And I know, listen, Broussard, I know you were like, hey, Jameis, dark horse MVP. And so you're feeling good this morning. But we also have to be honest that the 5 touchdowns are a little misleading. And when I say that, I mean there's a reason first player in NFL history with 5 touchdowns and fewer than 150 yards passing. There was, before his final pass of the game, he had 4 touchdowns and 95 yards passing. Okay? So the story of this game to me was the Saints' defense annihilating the Packers. And Jameis had his touchdown passes, aside from the 55-yarder at the end. It was 1 yard, it was 3 yards, it was 8 yards. So I think that the more important number than the 5 touchdowns is the 0 interceptions, because obviously that's what got Jameis run out of Tampa, was the 30 interception season, and prior to that, the 15, 16 interceptions to go along with 10 to 12 fumbles. He played a clean game, and if the Saints defense can play anywhere close to that level that it played yesterday throughout the rest of the season, then you just need Jameis to play a clean game. But 5 touchdowns, 147 yards. There's a reason we've never seen that before. It's an anomalous performance. So I give him credit, and if he keeps playing at a consistent level, the Saints will be better than I thought. But on the bar, it looks better than it actually was if you watched the actual game.
Well, I agree somewhat with you, Nick. And I was surprised at how cautious they were early on with him. As you said, only 90-something yards for most of the game. But the pass to Deontay Harris was perfect, right? Couldn't have been thrown any better. And the thing is this, we knew Jameis could do that. That's what he gives them that Drew Brees hasn't for the last 5 years or so. So that was not a surprise. What was surprising, what we didn't know that Jameis could do, was be cautious, was be patient, was do the dink and dunk game, not make